ladies and gentlemen, especially examinees for the common test for university admissions, hello and welcome. Congratulations on completing your test. I believe that many of you have to take even more tests carried out by the universities which you apply to. But at this moment, let's celebrate your great work. And unfortunately, I reckon that some of you may think that you've messed up with certain subjects, questions, or in the worst case, simply all of them. In that case, let's just celebrate the fact that you were able to take the test in a peaceful environment. Just look at your neighboring country. The incumbent president who arrested for the first time in constitutional history, and his supporters stormed into a court and broke everything in it. 너희들도 시험 때문에 뇌가 붕괴했을지도 모르겠지만 우리나라에서는 법과 질서가 붕괴했다고. 시험 걱정을 할 수 있는 것은 그냥 행운이야, 이씨. As a YouTuber, mainly making content about languages, I took the English test too. As for the reading test, I'm not quite sure what to say. I'm not a professional English teacher, I'm afraid. Here's one thing which I'm certain about is that there should be a considerable number of examinees who got so relaxed with section 4 in which they recommended that you should enjoy a slow life. Recommendation of a slow life in a university admission test which requires you to answer so many questions in a very limited time. I think there must be a British person among the test makers. And as for the listening test, I've got something to say as someone who loves accents and dialects of every language, especially those in English. Here's my conclusion on the listening test. Too much American, too little British, and lack of diversity. Let's take a closer look. Most of the test was in American English, and as far as I understand, the only parts in which they spoke British English were questions number 15, 17, 26, 36 and 37. Is that it? It's too little, isn't it? Please don't misunderstand me. It's not like I'm saying that every question should be in British English, but it's just too little. I respect that the NCUEE has started adopting some accents other than American into the tests since some years ago. That was really a great step. But still, most of the test, about 80%, is in American English. Don't you think that it lacks a bit of diversity? Look, there are over 1 billion English speakers in this world, and American English is just a dialect. Yes, you heard right. American English is just a dialect. Some may say, like, my fellow Americans, American English is the standard international English. But that's wrong. It's malicious fake news. American English, Irish English, Australian English, Indian English, Singaporean English, and more, they are equally dialects. Number-wise, Americans are not even the majority among English speakers. ठीक है. There should be more Indian English speakers than Americans. And today, Indian English is used in many occasions from casual to official one. I also had some opportunities in which I talked with Indian people at the company which I used to work for. And in many companies, Indians are becoming management class or even higher class. Your boss could be Indian too in the near future. So, it's very important that you get used to Indian accent. ठीक है. And geographically wise, I think that you encounter East Asian English speakers like Chinese or Koreans more often than Americans in your real life, simply because they are much closer to Japan. I know what you're thinking now. You're thinking like Asian English is harder to understand, is it? Hey, don't say like that, okay? We are the same East Asian 兄弟, and we will meet each other eventually, no matter how much we hate each other politically. And people from the Sinosphere countries, it sometimes will be a better way to have communication, that they don't stick with only English, but also mix Chinese words with it. There are so many concepts which I don't know what to describe in English, but can in Chinese. For example, 玩到征途泡泡蟹. And another example would be 好啊，来啊，打在冲上，冲上. It's simply impossible to translate them into English, is it? I'm sorry, I've got sidetracked a bit. What I wanted to tell you was that they should adopt various accents or dialects more fairly and not stick with just one of them, American. And I realized one more important thing in the test. I think that there was a politically incorrect scene in question number 26. In this question, a group of 4 discussed surfing, and an American guy in that group said something like, the waves are usually less than 1 meter high. Excuse me? The waves are usually less than 1 meter high. Wait a minute. The waves are usually less than 1 meter high. How could an American understand the metric system? It's impossible. It's easier for you to find a shiny Arceus than an American who understands the metric system. If any American claims that they understand it, they should be either scientist or Canadian or Greenlander.